rewards of our global victory to win the peace so that we may make America safer and stronger for all our people. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Brought democracy to Nicaragua. Black and white South Africans cheered each other at the Olympics. The Soviet Union can only be found in history books. The captive nations of Eastern Europe and the Baltics are captive no more. And today on the rural streets of Poland, merchants sell cans of air labeled "the last breath of communism." This convention is the first at which an American president can say, "The Cold War is over and freedom finished first."
And I think I'm good on making tough decisions, and I hope that comes through.
You'll be interested. I'll be there.
Amid all the buildup, George Bush and Bill Clinton already were engaged in an intense long-distance debate.
Tell us the truth, and let the voters then decide who to trust or not.
Bush stepped up his attacks on Clinton's honesty and patriotism during the second of two appearances on Larry King Live this week. Bush suggested there was something sinister about Clinton's trip to Moscow in 1969 while he was a student at Oxford, though the president concedes he has no evidence Clinton did anything wrong.
I don't have the facts, but to go to Moscow 1 year after Russia crushed Czechoslovakia, not remember who you saw.
Clinton says he was just a student tourist in Moscow.
I went out to the university there. I knew one student who had been a friend of a Rhodes Scholar friend of mine, and talked to some students there. Most of the people I met, even then, were very much anti-Soviet, anti-communist folks.
On Larry King, Bush also took aim at Clinton's anti-war protests during his Oxford days. The president continued that theme on the campaign trail.
And I simply, for the life of me, cannot understand how someone can go to London, another country, and mobilize demonstrations against the United States of America when our kids are dying halfway around the world.
Clinton says he did take part in anti-Vietnam demonstrations in London, but the Democrat says he was not a major organizer.
There were a lot of Americans there. We went to the American Embassy. A lot of Americans at London University. When we had that teach-in, we took the arguments back and forth and talked about it a lot. I don't accept that.
What do you think about the implication the president is trying to make?
I think it's really sad.
Senator Gore said...
I just think it's sad. I mean, his campaign has sunk to a new level. I mean, it's just amazing.
Like the draft. Why didn't he just say he was trying to avoid the draft? No one is questioning that. They're questioning why he always prevaricates on these issues.
But some people say the Republicans' new salvo is reminiscent of Senator Joseph McCarthy's hunt for communist sympathizers in the 1950s.
To tar anyone who dealt with Soviets during the Cold War with the brush of being unfaithful to his country is McCarthyite, and I think demagogic.
The Clinton camp says Bush is simply getting desperate due to his second-place showing in the polls, including the CNN USA Today Gallup Daily Tracking Poll. Independent candidate Ross Perot remains a distant third.
Stay with me on this program tonight, because we're going to go down in the trenches and talk about your jobs and talk about why our country is in decline.
Perot dipped into his deep pockets to launch an unconventional ad campaign this week. His half-hour lecture on America's economic woes aired on national television Tuesday night.
We are draining our treasury to defend the world. The other countries who are rich, the other countries who have what used to be our money, are not bearing their fair share of the defense burden. We've got to change that.
Perot doled out $380,000 for that spot, but he racked up strong ratings. As many as 16 million people watched the ad, making it the second highest rated program in its time slot.
As we say here, it's a home run.
We spend about $100 billion a year.
It was such a hit, Perot reran the ad Friday night. A half-hour spot outlining his economic solutions will air at a later date. A key architect of those solutions struck a blow to Perot this week by defecting to the Clinton camp. Clinton also won the endorsement of nearly 600 economists. Clinton and his running mate Al Gore pitched their economic programs on a bus tour of Florida, and they blamed Bush for some rocky days on Wall Street.
And that's why it's very important that we have a deliberate, disciplined strategy that both increases investment and jobs and reduces the deficit. We've got to send a clear signal to those markets that America is moving again and moving in the right direction. That's one of the things that I'll move immediately on if we win.
In San Antonio, Bush tried to show voters he's doing something for the economy. He took part in an unusually high-profile ceremony to initial the North American Free Trade Agreement, known as NAFTA. The Mexican president and the Canadian Prime Minister were there too.
With NAFTA, as more open markets stimulate growth, create new products at competitive prices for consumers, we'll create new jobs at good wages in all three countries.
Clinton has endorsed the agreement to create the world's largest free trade zone, but he wants to see additional protections for workers' rights and the environment. Perot opposes NAFTA, saying it would cost jobs for U.S. workers. It's just one of a number of points of disagreement among the three major White House hopefuls heading into their first debate in St. Louis.